You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Hello Ladies After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Hello Ladies After Show.
Hello, ladies. I know. I opened up this podcast with hello, ladies, just like Steve Merchant did, okay? I'm your host, Phil Svitek, joined alongside Cathy Kelley.
Hello, everyone. And we are not the normal hosts for this podcast, but they will be here in the following weeks.
Yes, they're very excited. It's just the last days of summer, and everyone's still on vacation. So we thought we'd fill in because Cathy and I got the chance to see the show, and we enjoyed it thoroughly. And I'm all for Steve Merchant. I've been a fan of his since The Office with him and Ricky Gervais, although he does not appear in The Office.
I thought you were all for Sarah Wright, who played Courtney tonight, who is also in 21 and Over.
Okay. Yeah, I like her too. But also, if you want a great Steve Merchant kind of little snippet, he's also in movie 43, which is comprised of short films, and him and Halle Berry have a great kind of almost like a Hello Ladies date night type of deal going on, eventually leading to Halle Berry having one boob bigger than the other and kind of just showing him off. So that's the backstory of Hello Ladies. Overall thoughts of the show?
I enjoyed it. I thought it wasn't what I expected from seeing the previews, which was good. It definitely has some humor that I feel like the writers, he's worked with these writers before, correct? Steve Merchant?
Yeah.
And I feel like they've kind of gotten comfortable with each other where there were a couple inside jokes from previous things that they've done before. So if you are fans of them, then you would have caught on to that. But yeah, it was cool.
Now, so one of the things that's kind of keeping people away from this show is that they're thinking like, oh, it's going to be dry British humor. There was some dry humor, but it's not British dry humor.
I don't think that it's British dry humor at all. I think that it's very relatable to know a guy who's awkward and can't talk to women whatsoever. He has the friends that but he's not likable. That's the thing, is you want to root for him, but he's not very likable.
That part of it is British because they did that with The Office. Whereas, and the biggest switch from the U.S. version of The Office to the U.K. version was that they made Steve Carell likable. Whereas in the original one, Ricky Gervais was not. And to me, the way it's been explained, British humor is, wouldn't it be funny if? American humor is, isn't it funny that? And so I think the humor is kind of more, isn't it funny that this guy can't pick up girls, and he has, just from the
series of unfortunate events too.
Just opening up, like, why would you, they left, but it was your abortion line. Like, no, dude, they had no interest in you.
And it was also the suicide line that he pulled out.
Yes.
Not even 30 seconds later. But
yes.
Hello Ladies is also the name of Stephen Merchant's stand-up from, I think, like 2011. So
okay, that makes sense.
Just want to throw that back, and it was completely like chauvinistic, but in a funny way.
And so it's, this is in terms of a setup and things like that. We've kind of seen this guys trying to pick up girls and things like that, and the comedy's been handed down through ages. But I still feel that this has a new spin, and I like where it's going overall.
Mm-hmm. With any show, when you have the pilot, I feel like it's a lot of trying to explain the characters. And one of the things that I really did like about Hello Ladies is that while you did get the backstory, you got that Wade was dumped by his wife, you got that Steven's this really awkward tech guy who develops websites, you got why he had a roommate and all these things. It wasn't the typical format of the awkward conversations, like when it's scripted and you have to, you have problems picking up ladies because your wife left you 13 months ago and now you're stuck with 2 kids. Like, it's not like that.
Yes.
It was very conversational, which I appreciated a lot.
Yeah, and to their credit, I mean, I think that they write out a lot of this stuff. At least historically, when they did do The Office, they said everything was kind of written to the T, even though it is comedy, and comedy tends to be more improv. So I respect the fact that they can go to that level and have it on the paper. To me, the best scene was finally, he's trying to get the girls, and he finally gets one, and it's like, okay, now we're going to go to the bar. He forgets about his friend and things like that. That works out. And it seems all's going well, and then it just hits like, hey, can you buy my friends a drink?
Yeah.
Which,
do you find that relatable?
I could see this happening.
Yes, especially in LA. I feel like that happens a lot. Guys get suckered into buying drinks, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but just the comedy of it, and like, hey, what do you have on tap? I'm not
the waiter.
Yeah, I'm just paying for all your drinks.
Yeah, and it goes both ways. Like, I want to feel bad for him, but he got himself into that situation knowing kind of what would happen.
It's true, but yeah, and again, I mean, I don't like him, but that's, again, I don't mean that in a bad way, but yeah, it is funny how unrootable he is.
I want to mention one of my favorite comedians of all time, Demetri Martin, has an amazing joke about ladies, and I had to look it up before we started doing the show, but it was, an easy way to sound like a creep is to add the word ladies to the end of anything you say. It can be harmless too, but it just makes you a creep. Yeah, after college, I spent 2 years in the Peace Corps. Ladies. And then he goes on, he's like, I broke my arm, I need help. Ladies. And I feel like that just kind of sums up this whole situation. Like, he's kind of a creep, and that's why you don't want to root for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if there is an arc to be had, it's the fact that just be sincere. Like, there are likable qualities to Steven, but just you're not letting them show because it's hiding behind this idealistic facade of what you think a cool guy should be.
He's not being true to himself.
He's not. But in comparison, right? You have the guy walking out, and could we get dinner and stuff like that? She says, and he's like, when I resurface and get some, finally able to breathe, like, and he just sees that, he's like, oh well, clearly I have way too much time on my hands. I'm trying too hard, and being that he is kind of so techie, you see this a lot where people just overanalyze everything. And it just doesn't work. Whereas, like, okay, you gotta let it flow a little bit. I
can completely relate to that. Like, I was a huge nerd when I was younger, and I
tried
to be cool. No, I tried to be cool, and it came off as completely awkward.
Do you know how to code a website? What was
I used to. I knew HTML like the back of my hand.
Really?
When I was in high school, yep.
What else nerdy stuff did you do?
I don't know. I loved math. It was my favorite.
Okay, that's not really too nerdy.
I don't believe that.
I loved math.
If I gave you the angles, can you find the hypotenuse right now?
Sure. Let's try. I need a piece of paper.
No, if you can't. We're not gonna do this. Anyway. But yeah, in terms of, how about this? In terms of the female characters, who do you like the most of tonight's episode in terms of comedy or just in general?
All of them. I mean, I really like Courtney. I feel like you almost feel for her, even though she's in typical TV shows and movies. I feel like normally the pretty girl, popular actress you hate, but she's very likable in that she's trying to be nice and genuine, sincere, and he's almost not, I don't know, he's reading that as flirtation, even though she's just being a nice person.
Yeah. And, speaking of that, this is a little bit of news and gossip, a little bit of, not necessarily predictions, but, just going down the whole IMDb list, there's a lot of women in these next couple episodes. And so...
All the ladies?
All the ladies.
Oh, God.
And so these ladies... I like how it's going to be fresh throughout, It's always going to be a different type of adventure, and I like where it could head.
I think Jessica is his roommate, going to help him out a lot in the future. Like, she clearly has some sort of relationship issues where she pretends like she doesn't want a relationship, but she clearly does want one, and I don't want it to be too predictable where they end up together at the end of it, but I want them to help each other.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think this, if he was a little bit more likable, I could see it going that way.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where he would eventually fall for her, and he'd like try to lean in and kiss her, and she'd just slap him like, "Are you stupid?" And I think that's where it could go.
Yeah. I think throughout this season, he will get more likable, and he will get coached by her.
If it's any of like his other TV shows, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I don't, the genius will be that it's not necessarily necessary. So we'll see. Speaking of that, should we get into predictions?
Sure.
Unless there's another scene you want to talk about, but.
And now,
it's good.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
We got some scenes from next week. What do you look most forward to?
I mean, just his pursuit in general, from having, just like not knowing how to valet this week to showing up in a limo next week to a club. He just.
Oh, yes.
Seems hopeless.
And again, it's that ploy, and you're always trying out something. And again, where you just take something to the extreme. If someone says like, "Hey, you know what? Let's say, I don't know, this isn't the case, but let's say someone tells you, you got to treat a lady nice, and you want to pick her up, and like, okay, and you show up in a limo, and be like, "What's up, ladies?" That doesn't work. That's just taken to the extreme, and it just doesn't work. And so, obviously, there's a lot of room for comedy. I'm excited to see where it's gonna head into. I'll certainly be watching. Cathy, will you be watching?
Yes.
Well, and we will not be the regular host, but we got a good panel for you guys, so stay tuned for them. And yeah, that's all I can say. I'm excited. By the way, speaking that this is a brand new episode, it is your first time ever to AfterBuzz TV, the drill is in exchange for our words and our love each week, just rate and comment.
If you could let us know how we're doing, just rate and comment and tell a friend, because that's what keeps us going here at AfterBuzz.
That's right, ladies.
Don't even do it. You can find me on Twitter at Cathy Kelley.
That's right, ladies.
You can find Phil on Twitter at PD Svitek.
Or at AfterBuzz TV, Facebook,
AfterBuzz
Instagram,
TV.
Twitter, all that fun stuff. And thank you, Marissa Serafini TV, for engineering for us today. You'll hear her on all the other shows.
You're more awkward than Stephen Merchant.
Me or Marissa?
You.
Great, that's what I was trying to do. Thank you guys for joining us. Be back next week, and let us know what you guys thought of the show.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, ladies.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.